So how is it okay for the Grammys to openly promote homosexuality amongst young black males like Lil Nas X? Is that not a public health crisis? Of course it's not, because we're all at the altar of intersectionality in the church of LGBTQ.
Dr. Dre and Eminem and Snoop are about to do halftime. Their music is far more pervasive and popular and says more dangerous stuff than anything heard in a Joe Rogan podcast, but they're the Super Bowl halftime show. I don't know. Royce, I'm just a little bit, I think Joe Rogan and Spotify are going to buckle here. It's too much money at stake.
Nah, I'd say not. I think we're at another turning point within this small turning point. Like I said, Joe Rogan held the breach during a pivotal moment in this country's history and society's history. But we're at a midterm, right? And it would be, conveniently, we are at a midterm in the election cycle. I think that, I think what Spotify is doing is showing people how to be an institution in this day and age. And, if anything you could say about Joe, the one critique of Joe is that he's pretty down the middle, right? He's almost maybe a little too down the middle for the crisis that we're in, right? He's obviously seen the corruption for himself now, especially with the ivermectin deal. But traditionally, he has kind of been down the middle and always done his best to conform in a way to YouTube or Google or whoever the powers that be are to be able to keep his platform. Now, he's put up more of a fight than a lot of mainstream people, but he's conformed a bit. He's not radical. And it's not by accident that they try and set the bar of radical at somebody who's more down the middle. And all of it is this attempt to basically create, a moral selectiveness that they get to determine, right? And you can talk about the rap music, and those things are good examples for sure. But prime example is, let's look at the LGBTQ push down the throat. Okay, if it's a public health crisis for Joe Rogan to talk about ivermectin, which one does work, I took it myself, and even if it doesn't work as we believe it does in some circles, it certainly isn't dangerous as they try to put it out to be. So if that's a public health crisis, the HIV rate of homosexual black men in this country is 50%. Okay, you got a better chance of contracting HIV as a black homosexual male than you do of dying of COVID. So how is it okay for the Grammys to openly promote homosexuality amongst young black males like Lil Nas X? Is that not a public health crisis? Of course it's not, because we're all at the altar of intersectionality in the church of LGBTQ. Okay, so they get to say what's dangerous and what's not. And it's a farce. It's a scam, right? It's a three-card Monty. It's a classic.